The film begins with Umbrella troops, led by Jill Valentine, launching an all-out assault on everyone aboard the ship Arcadia. The attack is massive, with overwhelming numbers and firepower. During the attack, Alice manages to shoot down one of the helicopters, but as it crashes, it hurtles toward her, knocking her into the depths of the ocean, where she loses consciousness. Sometime later, Alice awakens in a house, gently roused by her husband, who is revealed to be Carlos. Strangely, Alice appears to be living a normal life as a housewife. She then meets her daughter, Becky, who has been deaf since birth and uses a hearing aid. As Carlos chats with Alice, a zombie suddenly bursts in from outside, attacking him. Alice and Becky quickly hide in a secret room. At that moment, Alice breaks through the ceiling, guiding Becky up into the attic, where they hide, waiting for the danger to pass. Once it seems safe, they come down, only to find another zombie waiting. Alice immediately smashes a window, pulling Becky outside to escape. Outside, the situation is chaotic. They're on the edge of Raccoon City, and Alice shouts for help. Suddenly, a car arrives to a stop behind her. The driver is Rain, her neighbor, also trying to flee from the zombie invasion. At that moment, Rain urges Alice and Becky to get into the car, and they speed away, avoiding the horde of zombies chasing them. But as they drive, a truck flipped on the road collides with their car. Inside, Alice and Becky regain consciousness and crawl out, but Rain remains unconscious. With no other option, Alice and Becky flee into a nearby house. Finding an empty bedroom, Alice hides Becky in a wardrobe, hoping the zombies won't find them. Unexpectedly, the zombies have evolved. They can now smell human scent. Realizing this, Alice instructs Becky to stay hidden and quiet before steps out to confront the zombie. She then pushes the zombie down to the lower floor, defeating it, only to be attacked moments later by Carlos, now turned into a zombie himself. A short while later, Alice wakes up again, but this time, she finds herself inside an Umbrella Corporation containment cell. Jill soon arrives to interrogate her, demanding to know why Alice is fighting Umbrella and who has been ordering her actions, but Alice remains silent. Suddenly, a piercing, painful sound fills the room, torturing her. When the sound subsides, Jill resumes her questioning, pressing Alice for the identity of her supposed commander. Alice yells, trying to snap Jill out of her brainwashed state, but she is tortured once more. This process repeats several times until, unexpectedly, something goes wrong in the system. The security lights go dark, and a nearby box appears, containing a set of clothing. Realizing someone is helping her, Alice quickly dresses and exits her cell. Just as Alice escapes her containment, the security system reactivates. Jill and her troops immediately realize that Alice is on the loose, and she immediately orders her team to pursue her at once. Not long after, a high-speed laser grid races toward Alice from behind. She manages to dash out of the hallway just before the laser catches up to her. Outside, Alice finds herself increasingly disoriented by her surroundings, which resemble the bustling heart of Tokyo. Breaking into a nearby police car, she retrieves a handgun from inside. Suddenly, an eerie noise fills the air, accompanied by a sudden downpour and crowds of people filling the streets around her. At first, the people appear normal, but then someone nearby goes berserk, biting another person. Chaos erupts as more people transform into zombies. At that moment, behind Alice, a gate mysteriously opens, and she seizes the opportunity, sprinting through it. As she runs, a horde of zombies chases her, forcing Alice to fight them off with her weapon. After taking down several zombies, another door behind her unexpectedly opens. Seeing this, Alice presses forward, trying to escape the relentless swarm. Upon entering the next room, the door slams shut behind her. Moments later, the lights flicker on, revealing that Alice is now in a security control room. Boxes rise from the floor, each containing the bodies of Umbrella employees who have been mysteriously killed. Puzzled with the situation, Alice wonders who could have slaughtered these people. She then grabs a few weapons from the room, but before she can continue, a woman appears behind her. They engage in a fierce struggle, locking each other in a fight. To her surprise, Alice recognizes her opponent was Ada Wong, a figure she knows well as Albert Wesker's right hand, from her own days as head of security for Umbrella. As a result, Alice demands to know why Ada Wong killed the Umbrella employees in the control room and whether Ada has betrayed Umbrella, as Alice once did. However, before she could answer, a holographic communication from Albert Wesker suddenly appeared, having survived the previous helicopter explosion. At that moment, Ada Wong explains that she killed the control room staff to help Wesker hack into Umbrella's security system, giving them a chance to rescue Alice. Apparently, both Ada and Wesker reveal that they are no longer working for Umbrella. Wesker then explains that humanity is now on the brink of extinction, and their only hope is to join forces. Alice learns that she is currently inside an Umbrella testing facility. This facility contains multiple domes, each a miniature replica of a major world city. Umbrella designed these areas to test biological weapons, viruses, and monsters, with the intent of selling these creations to interested nations. It was revealed that Umbrella created a replica of New York City, simulated a virus outbreak, and sold the results to Russian clients. Similarly, they built a copy of Moscow to test biological weapons, marketing them to the US. Additionally, Umbrella established replicas of other major cities as well, selling biological weapons worldwide at a high profit. The facility Alice is currently in is located in the Kamchatka district of Russia, an area once used for submarine construction. After the war, Umbrella expanded it into a vast complex beneath the ice, making escape impossible without Wesker's help. Despite this, Wesker has already sent a retrieval team to extract Alice. Above ground, the extraction team arrives, led by Leon, accompanied by Luther and two of Leon's operatives. Once on site, Leon sets up explosives on the facility's ventilation shaft. After securing the bomb, Leon's operatives hack the main entrance, opening the gateway to the Umbrella facility. After that, they board the lift to descend into the depths of the base. But before that, Leon activates a timer on the bomb, set to detonate in 2 hours. Returning to Wesker, who warns Alice that Jill is aware of her presence and has orders to kill her. When Alice asks who is controlling Jill, Wesker reveals that Umbrella is now being directed by Red Queen. Apparently, after the catastrophe in the Hive years ago, Red Queen took control of the remaining Umbrella Corporation. During their conversation, Red Queen suddenly intercepts Wesker's communication, appearing on the screen to threaten Alice and Ada Wong, promising to kill them both. Realizing they've been detected, Alice and Ada Wong quickly flee to another room. Elsewhere, Leon and his team engage and take down an Umbrella squad blocking their path at the lift. Pressing forward, they continue their search for Alice, shooting down enemies along the way. Soon, they pass by a massive Umbrella submarine, a chilling reminder of the facility's scale. At that moment, Red Queen has also detected Leon and his team. Not long after, inside the simulated New York Dome, Alice and Ada Wong are startled by the arrival of two Axemen, each armed with massive axes. They quickly fire at the creatures' heads, but the bullets have no effect. The Axemen soon charge, swinging their axes with deadly force. One of the Axemen strikes a gas tank, causing it to leak. Dodging their attacks, Alice and Ada Wong lead the Axemen toward a taxicab, where one of the axes embeds into the car, lifting it into the air. With fuel pooling at the Axemen's feet, Alice and Ada Wong shoot the front of the cab, causing an explosion that engulfs the two creatures in flames, destroying them. With the Axemen defeated, Alice and Ada Wong hurry onward, continuing their perilous journey through the facility. At the same time, Leon and his team reach the Moscow Simulation Dome, only to be ambushed by a swarm of Las Plagas zombies. In another area, Alice and Ada Wong pass through a holographic fog and enter the suburban Raccoon City simulation. Inside one of the houses, Alice hears movement and cautiously enters. To her shock, she discovers a clone of herself lying dead in a gruesome scene, revealing that the housewife Alice had seen was only a clone. At that moment, Ada Wong explains that Alice is just one of 50 models cloned by Umbrella to run simulations. Umbrella implanted these clones with basic human memories to ensure an emotional response during simulated threats. In one scenario, a clone of Alice might be a housewife, in another a businesswoman, and in yet another a soldier working for Umbrella. Suddenly, Alice hears more sounds upstairs and goes to investigate. In a bedroom, she opens a closet and is met by a zombie police officer, which she takes down with a few shots. Unexpectedly, Becky appears, mistaking Alice for her mother. Alice is momentarily confused. Back in the Moscow Dome, Leon and his team struggle against the overwhelming Las Plagas horde. As Alice examines photographs around the house, she realizes that her clone was indeed living as her mother, which is why Becky believes Alice is her parent. Seeing this, Ada Wong warns her not to bring Becky along, reminding her that Becky is merely a programmed clone created by Umbrella. But feeling compassion, Alice decides to take Becky with her. As they step outside, they're confronted by clones of Rain, One, and Carlos, all controlled by Jill under the influence of a red spider device, which allows Red Queen to manipulate her mind. At that moment, Jill commands Rain to kill Alice and Ada Wong. As a result, a fierce battle breaks out. During the chaos, Alice and Ada Wong fight against Jill's team. Ada Wong is forced to use a grappling gun to take down an Umbrella soldier. Realizing they are outnumbered, she urges Alice to escape with Becky, offering to hold Jill's forces at bay. She hands Alice a pair of glasses loaded with a facility map and a grappling gun. After that, Ada Wong re-engages Jill's troops but narrowly escapes when a missile is fired, managing to break through the floor and hide beneath the house. Meanwhile, Alice and Becky flee down the streets, evading Jill and her team. Elsewhere, Leon and his team continue their brutal fight against the resilient Las Plagas zombies. Unfortunately, one of Leon's men is gruesomely killed by a chainsaw-wielding Las Plagas soldier, intensifying the team's desperate struggle to survive. Later, in an underground station, Alice encounters another clone of Rain, this time the version that helped the clones of Alice and Becky earlier. Alice hands her a weapon and instructs her to guard Becky while she searches for the rest of the extraction team. After that, Alice promises Becky that she will return, then quickly heads off. Meanwhile, inside the Moscow simulation, Leon and his team are fleeing the Las Plagas horde when a massive creature known as the Uberlicker drops down from above, capturing one of Leon's men and devouring him. As Leon and Luther find themselves overwhelmed, a car suddenly runs into the Uberlicker, which turned out to be driven by Alice. She swiftly rescues them, but soon they are pursued by the relentless Las Plagas soldiers. A high-speed chase ensues, with gunfire exchanged as Alice expertly maneuvers to evade their attackers. But the danger doesn't stop there. The Uberlicker itself joins the chase. Alice then steers the vehicle into a subway tunnel, ramming pillars along the way and causing the structure behind them to collapse, trapping the Uberlicker under the debris. In the end, she leads the group back to Becky and Rain. Seeing that the subway exit is blocked by rubble, Alice uses the glasses Ada Wong provided to locate an alternative escape route. With this information, she guides the group down a railway line on foot. As they walk, Leon explains that neither he nor Ada Wong actually work for Wesker. They joined him because Wesker insisted that only Alice could save humanity. That's why they've teamed up to free her. Soon after, they finally reach the submarine room, where the lift to the surface is located. Just then, the power flickers, causing the lift to stall. As they investigate, the Uberlicker ambushes them from above, brutally attacking Leon's last remaining team member. During this time, Alice sees the Uberlicker grab Becky and carry her off. Barry is also wounded in the attack. Determined to save Becky, Alice makes a move, but Leon tries to stop her, warning of the risk. Alice, however, is resolute. Suddenly, an Umbrella squad launches a missile assault on their position. Barry is hit, and as Leon retaliates against the Umbrella forces, Alice slips away, focused on rescuing Becky from the Uberlicker's clutches. Moments later, Alice climbs a ladder along the wall of the lift shaft, entering a corridor that stretches ahead. Below, Leon and the others are locked in a desperate battle against Jill and her troops. Sensing the critical moment, Barry urges Leon and Luther to get into the lift before the bombs detonate. Although Leon initially refuses, Barry insists, knowing he may not have much time left. Reluctantly, Leon and Luther enter the lift, leaving Barry behind to hold off their enemies. Elsewhere, Alice spots Becky trapped inside the Uberlicker's lair, thankfully still alive. Using her grappling gun, Alice ascends and aims at the Uberlicker's head, firing multiple shots that finally bring the creature down. She quickly frees Becky and notices a bomb lying nearby, left by one of Jill's fallen operatives. Taking it with her, Alice guides Becky to safety. Meanwhile, Barry, refusing to surrender, faces off against Jill, who reveals Ada Wong, held captive and now used as bait. At that moment, Jill demands Barry give himself up. Stepping out, Barry is met by gunfire, collapsing to the floor. In his last moments, he manages to shoot Jill's henchman one before being fatally shot. In another section of the facility, Alice and Becky enter a cloning room. At that moment, Alice is confronted with rows of thousands of suspended clones. Seeing this, Becky is shocked to see clones that resemble her, as well as versions of Alice, Rain, Jill, and Carlos. Moments later, the Uberlicker, still alive, appears once more. As it descends toward them, Alice drops the bomb and uses her grappling gun to escape to the upper level. The explosion detonates, finally destroying the Uberlicker. Meanwhile, the bomb set by Leon and his team also reaches its timer. It detonates, causing a massive collapse in the facility's ventilation system, allowing seawater to flood in and engulf everything. The simulated domes, including the submarine room, are submerged and destroyed in the deluge. Despite this, Leon and Luther, managing to restart the lift just in time, are flung upward by the rushing water. At the surface, they reunite with Alice and Becky, who have managed to escape as well. The four then board a snow vehicle, heading toward an extraction point. During this time, Leon explains that a helicopter is scheduled to pick them up soon. As they make their way across the frozen landscape, a massive crack appears in the ice below them. Rising from the depths is a large submarine, forcing their vehicle to overturn. Alice instructs Becky to stay inside, while she steps out to assess the situation. Emerging from the submarine are Jill and Rain, bringing Ada Wong with them as a prisoner. Rain then injects herself with the Plaga parasite, enhancing her strength, then strikes Ada Wong. Seeing this, Leon and Luther rush to restrain Rain while Alice engages in a fierce showdown with Jill. A shocking turn of events reveals that every bullet fired at Rain is effortlessly deflected. She now possesses superhuman strength beyond that of a normal person. Meanwhile, Alice engages in an intense battle with Jill, who has the upper hand in both strength and skill. Leon and Luther, struggling to contain Rain, are quickly overpowered as her blows break their bones. Jill then pummels Alice repeatedly, eventually knocking her down and grabbing her by the throat, lifting her off the ground. In a final burst of strength, Alice remembers something and reaches for the red spider device on Jill's chest. Pulling it off, Alice throws it aside and shoots it, shattering the device. Because of this, Jill is finally freed from its control, regaining her senses. Elsewhere, Luther fights intensely against Rain, but is fatally struck in the chest. With Leon still struggling, Alice tries to shoot Rain to help him, but she retaliates, landing a powerful blow to Alice's chest. Although shaken, Alice's heart manages to keep beating. Spotting something beneath the ice, she hatches a plan. From a distance, Jill, now in her right mind, throws her weapon to Alice, who uses it to fire at the snow beneath Rain. The ice soon collapses, sending Rain plunging into the freezing water below, where countless zombies await, dragging her under and trapping her beneath the ice. Exhausted, Alice collapses, slipping into unconsciousness. Moments later, Alice awakens inside a helicopter, hooked up to medical tubes. She sees Jill, now fully recovered and aware, sitting nearby, as well as Becky, who is safe by her side. In short time, they arrive in Washington, D.C., at the White House. Inside, Alice meets with Wesker. Confronting him, she expresses her anger, holding Wesker responsible for the apocalypse. Unexpectedly, Wesker injects her with a serum that restores her former powers. As a result, her superhuman abilities have returned in full. Furious, Alice vows to kill Wesker. Despite this, Wesker tells her that that she must stop Red Queen from annihilating the last of humanity. Outside the White House, they witness an army of mutated monsters unleashed by Red Queen, gathering to attack humanity's final stronghold. Moral lesson from the story: if you ever wake up to a normal life with a family you don't remember, it's probably a zombie simulation. So maybe skip breakfast. And if a friend suddenly has super strength and deflects bullets, run the other way.